Hello guys, Belle here. We are going to be talking about the Shadow Priest in Legion. Keep in mind, I don't priest. Well, I heal priest, dispriest, but I don't Shadow Priest. So as far as it being any changes that were made as far as it being a hybrid dot class, I don't know how those changes adversely affect things. So you guys that main these specs that I don't play on a daily basis will kind of know what is good and what is bad as far as that's concerned. I leave that in your capable hands. I am here to just highlight and show kind of what we have going on. So let's talk a little bit about Shadow and what we're looking at. So let's talk about some of the core combat abilities that we're going to be dealing with as far as Shadow goes. You have your Void form, which of course is passive. When you reach 100% insanity, you enter Void form, transforming your mind spells into Void spells. This does increase your shadow damage by 30%. While in Void form, you also do have a 2% haste increase for 1 second. So that's pretty cool. Your Void form causes your insanity to constantly drain faster and faster. So you are going to lose your insanity quicker, so you definitely want to make light and use of that Void form, which I'll show you one of the abilities here, but in Void form, obviously, you have your Void Bolt to go along with that. So you do have Mind Flay, Mind Blast, Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain, and of course your mastery in this situation is going to be Madness. This is going to increase the damage and insanity generated from your Mind Blast and your Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch, and your Shadow Word Death by 20%. So super important here. Your Shadow specific talent is going to be Oblivion. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about our talents. And it does let you use the power of the void to let the power flow through you, instantly generating 100 insanity, which is huge because that will instantly give you void form so that you can do an extreme amount of damage, because that is severely OP at the moment. Because I don't main these classes, I do have a friend that did play Shadow because I wanted to kind of get a gauge to be able to tell you guys. He did go into Legion and check out Shadow and did tell me that it is still pretty bursty, pretty amazing, keeping all your dots and all that stuff. So still pretty powerful as it is currently. So I wanted to give you guys your little window here that shows you guys all your stuff. I did put all the spells on the bar so you could also see those, because I wanted to make sure you guys saw what you have to work with as far as being Shadow Priest. Now, with that, I also wanted to make sure I showed you, here's your guys' weapon. You guys do have the dagger with the offhand. This dagger does look pretty cool. I think it's cute. I mean, cute's not really what you want to deal with. You want something that's like, you know, the Deathbringer or something weird, but something equally as badass. But I do like the dagger. It's pretty awesome. Also, I don't know if you guys did notice that there is a new condensed stat window. So if you guys have not watched any of my previous videos that I've done for the channel, this is your new condensed stat window. A lot of people have freaked out about it. It's going to be fine, guys. It's condensing things to make it easier, and not necessarily dumbing down the game, just making it a lot easier for you to find the information that you need. So let's not make a big deal out of it. So let's jump right into your talents. I know enough about Shadow Priest to know that there was some things added and some things changed, and I know some of the core spells they did force you to choose between as far as survivability. So that's all I do know as far as what was taken out. I'm going to treat all these talents like they're brand new. I'm going to pretend like you guys have never seen a Shadow Priest before, just because it'll make it easier for you guys to grasp the concept and understanding of what's changed. So for your first set here, we do have the Twist of Fate. This is a passive ability. After damaging the target below 35% health, you deal 20% increased damage for 20% increased damage and 20% increased healing for the next 10 seconds. Your Fortress of Mind is also going to be a passive ability. Mind Flay and Mind Blast deal 10% more damage and do generate 20% more insanity, which is super important. Currently, your Mind Flay generates 8 and your Mind Blast generates 12. So the goal, of course, of a Shadow Priest is to get your beautiful Void form so that you can use your Void Bolt, which does a lot of damage, especially when you have your dots. The next talent here is going to be your Shadow Word Void. This is, it's not too terrible of a cast. It has a 30-second recharge. This blasts the target's mind for 38-something damage. I'm not really sure what you would want to go here. I would almost say to do the faster generation of the insanity anytime you have the option to be able to increase the things that you need for your special items and special skills and stuff like that. You definitely want to make sure that you're using that if it's, you know, doable given the other two talents. Your second set's going to be Mania, which you move 1% faster for every 5 insanity you have. I think that that would be a pretty cool thing, especially if you have, right before tipping over to 100 and going into void form. Your body and soul is also going to be a passive ability. Power Word Shield increases your target's movement speed by 40% for 3 seconds. And your Masochism, of course, is a passive ability as well. When you cast Shadow Mend on yourself, the damage overtime effect heals you instead, which pretty awesome when you think about it. I do think that this will be warranted in a lot of situations, probably PvP. I don't shadow in PvP, so you guys would know better than I would as far as that goes, but I think for this instance we'll just choose that. Now for your level 45 set, you have your Mind Bomb. This replaces your Psychic Scream. It is a cast and it is a 30-second cooldown. It unleashes a psychic explosion, stunning all enemies within 8 yards of the target for 4 seconds. Your Psychic Voice is also passive. It reduces the cooldown of your Psychic Scream by 30%. Because of what I know about PvP, I don't have to PvP on Shadow to know that that would be something that would be super useful, since your Psychic Scream is going to be your, I'm pretty sure it's your AoE stun. Well, disorient, so basically same difference. Yeah, so that's probably going to be something you've probably already used in your rotation. Not really sure if you guys currently have that. The third here is going to be your Dominant Mind. You may also control your own character while Mind Control is active, and Mind Control now lasts 1 minute, but may not be used again. But it may not be used against players. So this is going to be really, really awesome, but not going to be able to be used for PvP, so not going to be useful there. For your level 60, you do have the Void Lord. Lingering Insanity persists for 8 seconds after your next Void form. That's pretty cool. Probably something that you would use. Reaper of Souls is passive. Your Shadow Word Death is now castable on targets below 35% health and always generates insanity even if you do not kill the target. This to me seems like it would be the most viable here. Of course, your Void Ray also is passive. Each time your Mind Flay deals damage, you gain 10% increased Mind Flay damage for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Now, since your Mind Flay is essentially going to be your filler here, that's not too terrible to have in your corner, especially when you're trying to generate insanity. But for this purpose, I'm just going to stick with the Reaper of Souls, because if I was Shadow, not knowing, obviously I don't know a whole lot about Shadow, but I would assume that this would probably be pretty powerful for a lot of instances. Now for your level 75, you have Senlayan. I don't know if I said that right, guys. Please don't judge me. Increases the damage of your Vampiric Touch by 20% and the healing of your Vampiric Embrace by 20%, which we already know your Vampiric Embrace. This was told to me earlier, guys. I'm trying to pretend like I know it all, but I really don't. I just have a friend who plays Shadow. I do like to use my friends to help me out with specs I don't play often, so I can make sure I'm giving you guys the correct information. But as far as this goes, this is your survivability. So this, essentially it's your oh shit button, especially since it has a 3-minute cooldown. So this is actually going to increase the healing by 20%. I can see a lot of instances when this would be needed. You also have your Auspicious Spirits. This is a passive ability. Your shadowy apparitions now deal 100% increased damage and generate 4 insanity. Pretty legit. I feel like that would also be something that's useful. Your Shadowy Insight is passive. Your Shadow Word Pain periodic damage has a 10% chance to reset the remaining cooldown of Mind Blast and cause your next Mind Blast to be instant. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that's pretty legit, just because it is on an 8-second cooldown. So from a damage doing ability and generating insanity ability, I think that that is going to be, the Shadowy Insight's pretty amazing. Not really sure what you would choose over these ones here, but I'm just going to choose this one for argument's sake. For your level 90, you have Power Infusion. This is an instant ability. It is on a 2-minute cooldown. Infuses you with the power for 20 seconds, increasing haste by 25% and increasing insanity generation by 25%. Too awesome to not use this in a lot of situations, just based off its tooltip. It obviously is a 2-minute cooldown, but still, it's increasing your insanity generated by 25%. That's not a small number, so definitely keep that in mind. Your Mindbender is on a 1-minute cooldown, and you can summon a Mindbender to attack the target for 20 seconds. This does generate 5 insanity every time the Mindbender attacks. This is something I would need to theorycraft here, because it's on a 1-minute cooldown, and it does generate 5 insanity per each attack. I would need to know about how often this thing attacks in order to know if it's going to be more viable on a 2-minute cooldown situation with an increased 25%. This is something that you guys that mainly this class in this spec specifically would be able to answer probably better than I. Now, your Shadow Crash is on a 30-second cooldown. It's an instant ability. You hurl a bolt of slow-moving shadow energy at the destination, dealing a pretty good amount of damage. This is saying 85k, which this, of course, is with my Wild Combatant gear. Damage to all targets within 8 yards. So this is great because this is an AoE set of damage, and that set damage is pretty high, and this also generates 15 insanity. So let's just, I want to focus on this one because this is something that I'm now interested in. So you have your 2-minute ability, which is going to generate 25 increased insanity, as well as increase your haste, which is needed here. You have your Mindbender on a 1-minute cooldown, but you get 5 insanity per each Mindbender attack. And then you have your Shadow Crash, which is only on a 30-second, is your AoE and generates 15 insanity. This is going to be one of those moments where it's going to be on a need-to-know basis. I need to know what we're going to use these for and what instances they would be good for. In the interest of me learning, if you main a Shadow Priest and you want to give me the difference you think, or however you feel, what situations you would use each talent, that would be good for me as far as my learning curve, as I am trying to improve my knowledge of all specs. I want to kind of know all the things just because, you know, I'm a woman. Women are nosy. But I'm assuming that each of these would be in different situations, especially when it comes to PvP, perhaps arena, certain comps versus RBG, certain comps, and different battlegrounds and such. Your final situation here, of course, is going to be your Legacy of the Void. I appreciate this because this is a nod to StarCraft, which I thought was really nice, or maybe StarCraft was a nod to that. I don't really know. This is a passive ability. Your Void Form may be activated anytime your insanity level is 60 or higher. This, to me, feels extremely overpowered because you don't need 100 insanity to get your Void Form, which basically you get your beautiful Void Bolts here. I think that's pretty awesome. But you also, in the same talent set, you have Mind Spike. This is going to replace your Mind Flay. It is a cast time. Basically, assail the target with shadowy spikes, dealing 12k Shadow Frost damage and leaving a spike embedded in their mind. Up to 10 spikes may be embedded this way. Your Mind Blast will detonate these spikes, each dealing 200% of their original damage. So at the base damage here, we have 12k. This is with me having my artifact weapon and with me having my Wild Combatant gear. So you're looking at 200% of their original damage, which is a possibility of stacking because you can have up to 10 spikes. That's a huge amount of damage if played right, and it does generate 6 insanity. The last set here is going to be Surrender Your Madness. All your insanity generating abilities will generate 200 more insanity, and you can cast while moving until you exit Void Form. Then you die horribly. Okay, 10-minute cooldown and you die, but you kill shit. I'm thinking this would be one of those instances when you're robbing a bank and you're in RBGs and you're just like, screw it, I'm already gonna die. I might as well just pop this Be God mode for like however many minutes, however long this lasts, or your entire form, Void Form, because your Void Form goes away as your insanity drains. I mean, this is pretty amazing. If you're already gonna die, this is gonna be a good moment for you to use this. I can't think of a time when I would use it, but you guys would for sure know more than me. I'm going to put Legacy of the Void here just because I want to be able to show you guys the Void Form a lot quicker. Now, as far as your honor talents, this is going to be the way that they go. They're showing you what your talents are, which is perfect because I'm going to start doing the PvP videos, guys. So this is super great. This means I don't have to level every single spec to be able to do a PvP walkthrough. So be looking for that. PvP videos will be soon. So there is that. So that's going to be your breakdown. Let's go ahead and just take a look at some of your spells here. I think we didn't decide what we were going to do in this instance, so I think let's do the Mindbender. I want to see, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Let's just do the Mindbender because I don't really know what I want to do here. Really? I don't care about those talents right now. Okay. So I don't... okay, great. I'm not really super interested. So let's just use this as for an example. So I'm just going to show you some different things just so you can see the different animations. I know that they've added and changed a lot. So I wanted to be able to show you some of the ways. So you've got your Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain, and then you're going to do your Mind Flay because this is going to generate additional things that you need. There's your weird little... That's your all your little weird stuff that happens. I want to just be able to generate my insanity long enough. There we go. So there's your bolts. I don't know what that does. Oh, I mind controlled. Too funny. I don't shadow, guys, so don't judge me. And then you're going to click this again because that's super important. So now you guys got to see kind of the way that it works, a little bit of the damage. I don't priest, so yeah, I wanted you guys to see that. I'm going to go back into void form because I do want to see what the damage is on these bolts, because I thought for some reason these bolts did a lot of damage, but and then we'll just show you what your it's really funny that she jumps, her psychic scream, she's just a tiny thing. So yeah, this is pretty much what you're looking at. The mind vision is pretty useless because that's pretty much like the all-seeing eye. So pretty cool. That's pretty much what you're looking at there, guys. Void tundrals, all this weirdness happening, and then your dispersion, which is nice. So that's what we're looking at for Shadow. If you guys are watching this video and you did enjoy it, or you gained some knowledge, or you just like hearing the sound of my soothing voice, please go ahead and do me a favor and give the video a like. Make sure you comment. Tell me what your thoughts are. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to do in Legion. I am here for you. You guys are the only reason I have this alpha access, is so that I can be informed for you guys. So make sure you leave me a comment. If you're new to PWNCAST, do me a favor and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I promise you won't be disappointed. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here because it has been a long day and I have tons of videos to make. Thank you guys so much for watching.